Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike from Job Ready English. I want to show you a way that I have been writing and editing thousands of CVs since 2013. Hasn't really changed my instructions and template. Plus, I want to show you a really awesome tool, an application tracking system tool, where you can easily tweak your CV and make it the best match for any job description out there, massively increasing your chance of getting accepted for this job. I would say using this tool will double or triple your conversion rate. By conversion rate, I mean that your CV will get accepted, will get noticed by an application tracking system. A really important idea that I want to take you through before I go through these principles of a CV, which is contained in your handout, is simply this. Over 90% of CVs are screened by automated screening systems. And for Times Top 100 and Fortune 500 companies, this is more like 99%. People still have this false belief that a human, a person, is going to sit there and look and read at their CV and go, oh, Fred looks good. Person isn't going to do that. The same applies if you go through an application on LinkedIn or on Indeed or any type of jobs board, which is exactly why it's much better for you to apply directly to the company than through LinkedIn or Indeed or any other jobs board, because otherwise you're going to get filtered twice, right? Which is going to make it more difficult for you to get your CV accepted. So this is a really key idea for you to recognize. What is a CV all about? It's just about matching the keywords in the job description to the keywords in your CV. The rest is not that relevant. So let's start at the beginning, because I'm imagining that either you're sending your CV and it's not working. And by not working, I mean that people aren't responding to you, giving you online tests and interviews, or you haven't written your CV at all and you're wondering how to do that. So you can find everything which is going to be in the CV instructions and template. And I want to walk you through this because I think a lot of times what I found with people that I've worked with over the last 10 years is that basically no one's really explained this to you. So principles of a CV. CV should be no longer than 2 pages. Simple. Investment banks prefer a page. Should your CV be 1 or 2 pages? It should be as long or as short as is relevant. No need for headers, footers, titles, flashy or pretty designs. The reason being is, and you'll see these really beautifully designed CVs. So if I type in beautiful CV templates, you'll get some designs that look something like this. And you're like, oh my God, that looks so good. A robot can't read these. An application tracking system can't read these. The reason being is that when you have a look at this and it looks so cool, right? You're like, oh my God, they're literally going to read the CV from left to right. So they're going to read professional experience, soft skills. They're going to read it like this and it's going to come out like gobbledygook. And if such stuff is designed and can't be read using optical character recognition, then that's also not going to work. So the CV example that I'm helping you to prepare looks like this. Looks super boring, right? Doesn't look very exciting at all. There's a little bit of bold, a little bit of spacing, but that's about it. This has worked like a charm for 10 years. I haven't changed this at all. And I'm going to explain to you why as we go through this. This is really all you need to do. No need for a profile picture, date of birth, nationality, marital status, visa status. I've spoken to clients all around the world, and I understand that different countries have different practices. And I'm really talking about the UK and to a certain extent, the US. You don't need any of that stuff. Save it for your LinkedIn profile. And as you list experience, it should be chronological. So let's talk about the structure, the framework. So you have a name. If you have a name that people struggle to pronounce, just give a nickname, something easier. I often have people go, well, that's outrageous. People should know how to pronounce my name, but they don't. So just make their lives easier. This is all about making it easy for an employer to choose you and go, hey, I like that guy, Steve, not something else. And look, my last name is Mutia, and I've had people really struggle to pronounce my name for years. I've gotten over it. Contact details, town and postcode only. Number one, because you don't want people to steal your identity. Sometimes I've had people put so much information, I could just steal their identity. Why do we need town and postcode? Because this helps for geolocation. So if somebody says that they're living in New Delhi, I'm not going to give them a job if they're in London. So here's a little hint. If you are applying from abroad, even though it's quite difficult, you want to give a place that is close-ish to where you want to work, or at least in the same country. An email, something professional, and your mobile number, which should be a UK number. So education, you only need to list universities and colleges. Some people do like secondary school, A levels, don't really need that stuff. And I include this for graduates as well as professionals. And simply, you're just putting your degree. The most common thing that people miss is their grade. So people won't put their grades. So it'd be 2-1, first, third, whatever it is. Make sure you put that in. And just a couple of relevant key modules. Ideally, modules that relate to stuff that's in the job description. And I'll explain this using this tool in a little bit later. 2 or 3 modules. Don't include the dissertation. You can include scholarships. Don't include massive explanations of stuff. That's all you really need. Really, all employers actually care about is your grade, to be frankly honest with you. Work experience. If it's less than 2 weeks, it's not work experience. Again, this should be in chronological order with most recent job all the way down. Don't be shy to leave certain jobs off. I've seen people leave off service jobs or the fact that they're working at KFC. My first job was at KFC. Completely relevant job experience. Definitely something you can put down. The most important thing in here is going to be the key skills. That's actually what's crucial. Now, when you're using the bullet points, really try and be specific about what you did, notable achievements, numbers, facts, figures. Don't say, I used to do some sales calls. Say, I did 27 sales calls. Don't say, you sold a lot of stuff. How much have you sold? How many customers did you serve? How many reports? Try and think, what's the number? What's the metric that I'm using? And then same thing for club societies and volunteering. And also then we've got skills and interests. Now, the one break for this, I would say, where I would change the format of this is if you're applying for a tech role, specifically anything to do with coding or software engineering, I would say that probably your coding stuff should come first because that's really what's relevant. Same for any technical discipline. It's above education because that's really what they're looking for. Doesn't matter how good the rest of my CV is, if I can't code in Python, then it's not relevant. So you have languages, IT, and interests. The languages, anything where you can't have a conversation in, don't put it in. Don't say you've got business, like beginner French. Can you say, bonjour, je suis un orange? Yes, I said hello. I am an orange in French. But that doesn't mean I can speak French. IT skills, put how proficient you are. Again, a little tip, if you've done, 3 lessons on DataCamp for Python, you're not really a beginner Python programmer, are you? You don't really know that. Could you use that? If I said, can you do something, make something in Python? And then just interests are just your personal hobbies. And we end up having something that looks a little bit like this. So you'd have, education modules, employment history, couple of bullet points, and we start to add in these key skills. This is the crucial thing. This is the gold in your CV because with these key skills, you can easily adjust your CV to match an application tracking system. And I'm going to show you how shortly, blow your mind. So yeah, doing that all the way through, extracurricular activities, skills and interests. Short, it's to the point. It's a good CV. Person isn't going to read it, but if they did read it, they'd understand what's going on. And then they've got, languages, IT, and interests. Now, why are the key skills so important? Why is this really the most important thing in the CV? Well, let me show you. So I highly recommend if you have the opportunity to, or you can afford to, you pay for a subscription for an ATS scanning software. We use JobScan. It's not that expensive. I think it's about £20 a month. This will save you hours and hours of time. So what I've done is I've taken in a young chap's CV and I've matched up. He wants to apply for a tech role at KPMG. So what we're going to do is that we're going to scan this and figure out how closely do they match. This is going to blow your mind. So CV looks fine. Here's the job description. So we're going to scan this and see how closely it matches. And just so you know, what's the difference? I am doing this using a paid account, right? This isn't a free account. So here we go. It's doing its little blub thing, and it's a really low match rate. What does that mean? Well, it means the ATS is going to go, yeah, that person doesn't really match. They're just going to automatically reject this guy. So what you can do is, and you can sort of see, it says a 75% plus match rate is recommended. Personally, 50% plus works just fine. So you can do some really cool stuff in here. We're not too concerned about this. We're going to do something which is called a power edit. And I'm going to show you how absolutely crazy this is and how easy it is to do. So it said, here's the two really important skills, networking and technical background. So we're going to pick up an item of his work experience. Forgive the funky formatting because this was uploaded as a PDF. So all I'm going to do is write networking and technical background, right? So you'll notice here it says 22. It's going to recalculate it. 79% match. It's crazy, right? I must admit that doesn't normally happen. You have to add more stuff in, but you add in a couple of keywords and he is a 57% better match for that job description. Now, I don't know about you, but that absolutely blows my mind every time. And that took me like 15 seconds to do that. So every time you reapply for a new job, you're going to take your CV, take the job description, put it into something like JobScan, scan it, see how good a match it is, add in a couple of skills, and then go bloop and massively increase how well you match, increase the chances of the ATS going, this guy's a really good match. You should totally pick him for this job, and really increase your ability to get jobs. Can't really make it simpler than that. You can write out a really good CV, I would say in 30 minutes or less. So, a few other things to recognize is just, having clear section headings, 400 plus words in your CV, measurable results. Don't just say, I served customers, how many customers. Always save your document as a PDF when you upload it. Use bold for titles and headings, and check and match hard and soft skills. And it's always worth testing your results. So you can test different CVs. If you're watching this and your CV isn't working, try different CVs, try different words, try different things, and try to really track what you're doing. What version CV are you using? Now you might think, oh my God, that's so time consuming. Why have I got to do this? Why should you do it? Because you literally need to get a job. I mean, there's no better use of your time than trying to shorten the amount of time that it takes you to get a job. So that's how to write a great CV. It couldn't be simpler than that. Everything else is in your instructions and template. Good luck.